see to your right is just one example of the slaughter that has gone on inside Iraq. That just happened on September 1st, 2013. 52 Camp Ashraf residents were massacred without any warning. Military officials came in and killed 52 people, injured hundreds and hundreds of people. Those are the faces of the human beings who were destroyed that day. That's not the only attack that has taken place in Iraq. If I have it correct, under the Maliki regime, there have been at least 6 attacks, 3 on Ashraf, 3 on Liberty. And you say to yourself, how can this happen in this day and age? How can this possibly happen? Remember, every single one of these people, every single person that you see there on that wall who was slaughtered, who was massacred, had a letter of protection from our government. They were all given a promise of protection by the United States of America. And every single one of them was slaughtered despite that. If we fail to be outraged by it, if the Obama administration fails to be outraged by it, if we as citizens fail to be outraged by it, we have lost our honor. We no longer are a country of honor. We're no longer a country that can be respected. This is a group, and we'll discuss it over the course of the next period of time in more detail. This is a group that is in opposition to the mullahs, to the religious theocracy of Iran. They believe that that government should be overthrown. They believe it should be replaced with a government, and Madam Rajavi, who is the president-elect, outlined those principles very, very well. They believe that that government should be replaced with a government that is freely elected, a government that guarantees basic human rights, a government that allows for freedom of religion, a secular government, a government that allows respect and dignity for women. In fact, this organization is run by a woman, and I've worked with this organization for 5 or 6 years now at great length, and many of the significant positions in this organization are held by women. This is an organization that practices what it preaches. It would be so wonderful for the Middle East if an organization like this was able to play a substantial role in government. What a great example for the rest of the Middle East. This is what they stand for. Over the last number of years, the organization worked hard to try to overthrow the government of Iran, to try to overthrow the theocracy. There were many ups, many downs. And then came the Iraq War. And a group of these patriots were at Camp Ashraf in Iraq. Now the United States was there, and they were promised protection by the United States government. And the United States government has completely reneged and broken that promise, as have the United Nations. What has Iraq become? Iraq has become a client state of Iran. And if Iran wants some of these people killed, which it does periodically, then Iraq, on its own or with the help of Iranian agents, invades Ashraf or Liberty and kills them. We did it before in 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005. Rouhani, the moderate, has actually in his memoirs bragged about the fact that they did a very good job of fooling us, that they were actually not enriching uranium when in various remote parts of Iran and 2 specific sites they were continuing to enrich uranium. He brags about it in his book, that he treated us exactly like this before. However, on 2 occasions, once in 2003 and then in 2005, they were caught red-handed. They were caught cheating, and they were exposed to the world. Who caught them? The MEK caught them. They were exposed by representatives of the MEK inside Iran who put their lives at risk, some of whom lost their lives in order to do this, and they were exposed to the world as cheaters. Right now, if we're in favor of regime change in Syria, we don't know who to replace the regime with. Here, we know who we're going to get. We know at least in part who we're going to get. We're going to get Madam Rajavi. We're going to get the people who stand for these principles of a constitution, democracy, a rule of law, women being allowed in government, a non-nuclear Iran. We know what we're going to get. So I conclude, as I always do, because I know this is going to be played in Camp Liberty at some point in the next few days. And I want to say a special word to the people in Camp Liberty. You and I are deeply involved in this, and I hope many of you become deeply involved in it. But our lives are not at risk, theirs are. And when the history of Iran is written, and when Iran becomes a free and democratic country, as it will become, I don't know when, it could be sooner, it could be later, it could be much sooner than we think. That's happened before in these situations. It could be somewhat later than we think. But Iran will become a free country. Then it will become a free country based on the blood, the sweat, and the tears of the people of Camp Liberty and the people of Camp Ashraf. It's their courage that is making this possible. And we are with you as if we were there with you. We are never going to abandon you. And one way or another, we are getting you out of there.